What's up, everyone? Well, recently I've been working on the Bonsaify Mastering Shohin Juniper e-course that is going to be released sometime soon. And so today I thought I'd share with you guys the work that I'm going to be doing on this roughly 6 or 7 year old juniper that I started from cutting. Basically what I'm going to be doing is just narrowing down the lifeline. There's already been a shari put in here, and there is a little bit of one on the back as well. So I'm going to take a look at how to use the lifelines on this material to make it more and more interesting as it continues to grow. The key thing is that different parts of the lifeline, obviously, on a juniper are supporting different branches. And at this stage of development, I'm not super concerned about which branches I keep, because ideally what I've been doing in terms of creating this material is to put a lot of character and movement into all of the branches that you see here. So I could come along and wire some of these out further, but let's take a look first at where the lifeline is and what I'm going to remove, and then see how that impacts the branch structure of the plant before I go wiring anything. So back here you can see that there's a little bit of the remnants of an old shari that I added here at the base. So I'm also going to enhance this, but I want to work on the other side first. There's sort of a smaller lifeline on the top here, and then this lifeline on the bottom wraps almost 180 degrees around and comes up in the front. So I've got a lot more to work with on the bottom lifeline in terms of width than I do on the top lifeline. So I'll start on the front, on the bottom. To make this a little bit easier to film and for you to see, I've taken a couple wires and clumped the foliage so it's out of the way. And I've started the shari on the root here. I'm going to go a little bit up from there, trying to use the cambium that I'm peeling up kind of as a tool here to clean out the crevice. So once I've used the knife to peel up some of it, I can come in here with the tweezers, grab a piece, and kind of pull and roll it upward. So I've gotten it started up to about right here, and I'm going to keep going. To get through the turn in the center here, I'm going to start from the opposite side as well and peel down. If we look at this, there's kind of the two edges of the lifeline. One of them comes up through the center of the composition in here, and the other one sort of wraps around the outside. So I want to keep the portion that's wrapping around the outside because it's going to give us a lot more movement in the long term. At least that's the theory that I'm working under. But basically what I'm doing is just taking a section of this cambium and kind of peeling it back from the wood in order to clear out the center of this turn. So I've gotten about a 1/4 inch wide strip out of here, and now I'm pulling it down, and I think I'm out of the center of the turn, which is going to make it a lot easier to see as we move forward. Now, just to be clear about what I'm doing up to this point, I've basically just stripped one strip of bark from about right here near the top of the tree down through the center of a spiral to the base. So I started at the base and went about halfway up, and then started up here and went back down to meet it. It's really hard to get in there, and it's really hard to film, but that hopefully is going to be the hardest part. So now what I'm going to do is continue up here along this section. For the time being, I'm done with this section. So started on that root and went up through the inside of this turn. So the shari work then is coming kind of almost directly up the inside of that turn to this point, and a little bit out this way. This is the section of the base here that had a little bit of shari work done. So I'm going to come back in here and widen this a little bit. So it seems like what I'm going to do is connect up this right here to where this jin is sticking out of the side of the trunk. So let me see if I can do that. I'm just kind of wiggling the point of the knife in between the cambium and the wood, and then kind of levering it up. Since I have a couple of nice strips here, I'm going to just continue pulling those upward. What I'm doing by separating it into two lifelines is making the plant create more wood on this side and more wood on this side. At the moment, this is the likely front. Now, if something changes substantially as I continue growing the plant, then I could revisit that decision. You know, it's been really interesting as I work on this course, working with material like this that I started before I was even starting a commercial operation in terms of propagation and growing. This was a juniper that I believe I started a couple years prior to that, and so it's got a lot of nice movement and twists, and now a little bit more shari. I've sort of, to make it easier to film and see, I wrapped some wire around these branches, just kind of clump them together. So I'll go ahead and take that off and then set this back out in the field to grow for a number of years. It's funny because I've been talking to a number of people about the process of creating and refining junipers. And in the course, we're spending about 80% of our time just in the growing and refinement of the trunk. The branching structure on a juniper is very easy to place. It's easy to get a set of branches, relatively speaking, in place on a juniper, much easier than it is, say, on a pine tree. They backbud, they will bush out, you can bring branches down and just sort of place the foliage almost wherever you want. It makes it a great beginner species, but it also has so many more possibilities, some of which we've seen here today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.